Senator Marsha Blackburn represents Tennessee, where many of my listeners are located this morning. Good morning, Senator. Welcome. Always good to have you.
It is always good to join you. Thank you.
I've got four questions for you. First, I began my show by saying, upon further review, the officials in the booth have reversed the call in the field. I thought on Tuesday night Donald Trump had lost the debate, but after thinking about it, watching a full day of outrage over ABC's moderation, which I'll come to, realizing that's the best Kamala Harris can do, and seeing everyone agree she didn't answer any questions, I think he won, and I think the polls will show that. What do you think?
I think that what we saw was three people ganged up on one person, and the moderators chose not to press her. They didn't question her. They didn't ask follow-ons. They did not fact-check her. And when she would not answer the first question, which is, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? And relating that to the American people, and she couldn't answer that. And here she goes into this word salad about growing up as a middle-class kid and experiencing a middle-class life. And I think people sort of glazed over because they said, wait a minute, inflation is killing us. You can't fill up the gas tank in the grocery cart in the same week. You want to say Bidenomics is wonderful and things are great? They're not great. And she asked that question. You know, we should ask if the American people are okay. Are you okay? The American people are not okay. And then she tried to say, it's time to move on. Well, she's been there for 4 years. So what is she moving on from? The American people are ready to move on from the Biden-Harris policies because they are tired of being broke. They are tired of seeing fentanyl kill kids in their communities. They are tired of gangs coming into their communities, recruiting kids, running up crime in communities. They are frustrated when they hear that there is not a resolute support of Israel and that our allies can't define if they're an ally. Our enemies don't fear us. They see Biden and Harris, and Kamala Harris specifically, as weak, failed, and dangerously liberal.
I am going to come back to the debate in a moment, but first I have to ask you about Admiral Kirby, Deputy Press Secretary at the White House, head of the National Security Council Press. I have met Admiral Kirby. I've always thought he was a patriot and respected him. But yesterday, he hit reply all on an email to his staff, which included, unfortunately for him and fortunately for us, Fox News, saying, no use responding to veterans who are complaining about the lack of attention to the dead in Afghanistan. They are a, quote, handful of vets, and indeed, all of one stripe. Close quote. All of one stripe. Don't respond, handful of veterans. Do you think he should resign?
Yes, I do believe that he should resign. When you look at what is happening with the VA under this administration, and of course we have the PACT Act, and John Tester out of Montana, who, by the way, is about to lose his seat in Montana. John Tester pushed forward on the PACT Act with people like me who are on the Veterans Affairs Committee saying, look, the VA cannot handle this. You have to implement community care so that our veterans can get the care that they need. Well, you know what? They push forward with this anyway. Right now, today, the VA has a backlog of 1 million cases for benefits and health care from our nation's wonderful, fabulous, patriotic veterans.
Right,
and they are not meeting that need. And,
no.
Hugh, this is the lack of respect that they show for the military and our nation's veterans. And then you get that kind of response from John Kirby.
I'm astonished by it. I think he should have been fired. But as President Trump said on Tuesday night, They don't fire anyone in this administration. Excuse me, Senator. Next, I have a new Fox News column this morning titled "The Worst Presidential Debate in the History of Presidential Debate." ABC and Disney are disgraced and exposed, and that Republicans will never forget. I am curious, will you appear on ABC or answer an ABC reporter's question for the rest of this election or indeed ever? Because we got to punish them. They're Democrats.
They are using their news to do opinion journalism. And I thought it was so very clear with the way they treated Trump, the questions that they asked, the way they coddled Kamala Harris and did not ask her, didn't drill down. Why have you changed your opinion? And bear in mind, they didn't even correct her that in 2020 she was not a presidential candidate.
I know, but I want to press you, Senator. I want to press you. Will you appear on that network? Because I think no Republican should. Now, people will disagree with me, but I just think we ought to cut them off because it's not a news network. It is a propaganda arm of the Democrats.
Hugh, I have been very careful over the last few years when it comes to the mainstream media. And very seldom do I go on their shows. I used to do previously, would do Meet the Press and Face the Nation and State of the Union and all of these shows. But if you are going to go on and if they are going to ridicule you and ridicule your positions and they're not going to be fair and they're going to try to blindside you, why would you do that? There are so many ways to get your message out now, and people want to know what your policies are and what you're going to do because elections are all about them, and they're tired of elections being about people that are going to increase their taxes, that are going to take away their freedoms, that are going to give them less choice and options in their daily life. And they don't want to be sending their money to Washington, D.C. and paying for all of this that is supported by elitists in Washington, D.C. who want Washington, D.C. to control all the power.
I'm going to take that as a
no.
Life. But I want to ask you about Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan, the CBS anchors for the vice presidential debate on October 1st. Do you trust them to be like Jake and Dana, who did a fine job in the first debate, or like Muir and Davis, who did a terrible job? What do you think about O'Donnell and Brennan?
Let's see what they do. I'm going to be hopeful that they're going to give a fair approach to their questions. If they fact check one, let's fact check the other. Let's press for answers. If you're pressing one, if press the other. If you're asking follow-up on one, ask follow-up on the other.
All right. Now, I want to close by talking about Springfield, Ohio. Yesterday, David Yost, the Attorney General in Ohio, took to Twitter. And I really am glad that he did because he's the Attorney General from Ohio, and Springfield, Ohio came up in the debate last night. I'm looking for the exact statement because I don't want to get it wrong. I just reposted it, and he watched the debate. Springfield came up, and he wrote, "There's a recorded police call from a witness who saw immigrants capturing geese for food in Springfield. Citizens testified to the city council. These people should be competent witnesses in court. Why does the media find a carefully worded City Hall press release better than evidence?" I didn't know what was going on in Springfield till the debate. That's why I think Donald Trump called attention to it, and a lot of people are mocking him for saying they're eating the dogs, but he got the attention on Springfield. They put 20,000 migrants from Haiti in a city of 58,000 in my home state of Ohio. I didn't know that until Tuesday night. Did you?
No, I did not. I was not aware of that.
So what do you think? What are they doing with this administration? You can't drop 20,000 people who may not even speak English into a small town in Ohio. It's stupid.
But what they're doing is allowing individuals into the country. They use this parole program. They fly them into the country, and then they don't give any advance notice to local and state officials. And Senator Haggerty and I have had a bill now for the last 3.5 years that would require the federal government to notify if they're going to go in and disrupt a neighborhood. And there is such a pull on resources. As I meet with local officials in Tennessee, and I'm in every county in our state each year. And when you have children that are coming in, then you need English as a second language teachers. You have additional impact on your health care and those emergency services and healthcare services, social services have an impact. And, you know, Hugh, these are the costs that taxpayers in local communities end up paying for. And it is expensive.
It's why Donald Trump's going to win. I'm convinced he's going to win.
Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. And I think it was very telling with people who watched the debate, who listened to the word salad mix from Kamala Harris, the avoiding questions and answers. And then they said, well, Donald Trump tells us the truth.
Amen.
And we might not always agree with him, but we know where he is going to land on issues. We can count on that. We were better off under Donald Trump.
Thank you, Senator Marsha Blackburn. Keep coming back.